Hi guys, I am here with Katri. An absolutely insane story is waiting for you guys. She has been through quite some trouble in her life and overcame it. Her mentality is just insane, and I can't wait for you guys to join in on this podcast. It's gonna be inspiring.
Don't miss it.
All right, Katrina.
Alex.
I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. So happy to talk about your very, very interesting journey. It was an accident that
Yeah.
that I got to figure out what your journey has been. We met at the gym. You did boxing there.
Boxing.
Very active girl. Pretty cool.
You have quite a great technique.
Thank you so
Boxing.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just started and it's I'm ambitious, but yeah, boxing has been fantastic so far.
Yeah, amazing sport.
Now, I've been checking out your Instagram and then I stumbled upon your story. And I'm not sure if I'm the best person to like concentrate what exactly happened, but it's been incredible. So you had something happen to you a few years back, a life-changing moment that changed everything drastically for you. Something very, very intense and something that you managed to come out of. So would you like to tell us real quick what actually happened?
Of course, I'm going to try to be quick explaining it, but it's a long story.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
But yeah, I'm gonna do my best. So back in 2012, I started to feel like a lot of abdominal pain and vomiting and anxiety, like a lot of desperation. And I went to the hospital, and the basic stuff happened to me, like exams, doctors trying to look what was happening to me, and nothing came up. So I stayed over there like 2 months in the hospital. I got paralyzed 2 weeks after being in the hospital, and doctors didn't know what to do with me, like what was happening. My mom was super stressed.
So you completely couldn't move.
Yeah. 2 weeks after I went to the hospital, I started to paralyze like from my feet to my head. And at first, I couldn't stand up and go to the bathroom. I had someone need to carry me and go to the bathroom, but I still could use my hands to eat or to grab something or whatever. And then one day I was trying to eat, and with the fork, I grabbed the food, and then I couldn't do this.
Wow.
And I did this, like past the fork through my body and then up to my mouth. And that time, the nurse and my mom saw me do that, and it was like, okay, no, this is getting worse. Like, you're gonna be totally paralyzed. So
how did you? I guess it's a very traumatic experience. How did you feel at that exact moment when that happened to you?
So I was taking it like it was a flu. It was the flu that I had, and 2 weeks after, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I'm gonna stay here in the hospital 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna be totally fine. I'm going to get back to normal. That was in my mind. Like, I wasn't thinking like I'm paralyzing, but it's gonna be worse. No, like I was thinking it's gonna be something 2 weeks, and that's it. I'm gonna be back to normal. So yeah, then I stopped talking. Like my tongue stopped working well, and that time I couldn't eat like with my tongue, with my mouth. So that's why I went to intensive care. And I stayed there like a week, and it was the worst experience of my life. Like, it was a white room for it was horrible. Like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move myself. I couldn't even do this, like to try to be comfortable. Couldn't do anything. So yeah, it was one hell of a week. And then I went back to my room, and exams, all the tests, everything. And so my mother was trying to bring me back to my house because I wasn't feeling myself in the hospital. I was super stressed. I was with a lot of pain all of this time, I was with the abdominal pain, with pain, leg pain, everything.
So your whole body hurt,
Yeah,
but you couldn't move
I
it,
couldn't move.
and you were in like a very sterile environment in intensive care,
Yeah,
not
with
knowing
all
what
the
was going
tests, every
on.
morning someone came into the room and did not one, 3 tests on me, like 6 in the morning every day for 2 months, and nothing came up. Like, you don't have any. Also, one day a doctor, my main doctor, told my mom, like, hey, there's nothing bad, like there's nothing going on. I think you should get your daughter to go see a psychiatric.
Wow, so they
Because,
thought it was like a mental condition.
and my mom, like, how do you explain her vomits? How do you explain the abdominal pain? Like, she's starting not to move, like she's starting to lose her strength. So yeah, of course, the day after I started to paralyze, and it was like, how does she's going to invent that, you know? Make up that. Sometimes I use other words to explain myself. Sorry.
No, I mean, you're doing great. You're doing absolutely fantastic. It's so funny to me. Like before we agreed on this podcast, you're like, my English is not. Man, you're very sophisticated speaking. So
Seriously?
yeah, you do. Just like I'm blind to my technique in boxing, you're blind to your skill set in communicating. No, it's beautiful.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I get stuck on words sometimes, but yeah, I try to look for other, and I don't know
Just
if
being
it
creative.
sounds great or not.
Being creative. No, so far it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, then they put me a tube on my stomach to eat, because I wasn't eating anything, and anything that I eat, I vomit it almost every time. So yeah, they add up a tube in my stomach, and with that, they agreed to get me back to my house. When I get back to my house, totally paralyzed, I had a possible diagnose. Like, doctors told me a possible diagnose. It was, I'm going to tell it in Spanish. It was encefalomielitis post-infecciosa tipo Guillain-Barré. Do you know what is Guillain-Barré? Guillain-Barré?
No, but it sounds like it sounds like a brain infection or something like that.
Yeah, it's a paralysis, but you're paralyzed from your head to your feet. So it couldn't be Guillain-Barré. That's why they told me, like, Guillain-Barré type. It's not Guillain-Barré. So it was like,
So they were guessing.
okay, yeah.
So they were guessing, like, this fits what you have right now the most, or medicine books don't tell us more.
Seriously, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand the stress also for them, like, to trying to look something they don't know about, because this genetic disease is so rare, and I'm going to talk about it now. When I went to my house, I started physiotherapy 3 times a day for 2 hours each physiotherapy, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon for my, how does it?
Throats? Your throat muscle?
Cuerdas vocales.
Oh, for your vocal muscles. Vocal cords.
Vocal cords.
Yeah.
Yeah. To work my vocal cords, because I couldn't speak.
Wow.
Nothing. So yeah, I worked super hard with my physiotherapist, which I was so blessed to have, because I had 3 physiotherapists, going to my house, working out with me. Of course, at the beginning, I didn't move anything. Like, they were like moving my arms like that. I wasn't doing anything with my body.
Wow.
So yeah, at first was like that. Like, 1 month after, I started to move like my finger like this. 2 months after, I recovered my vocal cords. Like, it was so lento.
What a long journey.
Yeah, it was so long. So yeah, 8 months later, my insurance told my mom in an email, like, hey, P.S., be aware of porphyria, acute intermittent porphyria. It's called acute intermittent porphyria. So my mom read that and was like, okay, I'm going to Google. And she Googled that, and it was everything. Everything that I have been through, it was porphyria. So it was no doubt I had that. My mom right away sent my test to United States to check out if it is porphyria or not.
Wow, because they only have experts over there?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. In Venezuela also, but we weren't aware of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the test came back 2 months later and it was positive. I have acute intermittent porphyria and it's a rare genetic disease. So my family went to take the test too because it needs to be one parent to have acute intermittent porphyria.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then so it was or my mom or my dad. But then in Venezuela, we knew about this place named IBIC. It's an institute, an investigation institute. So there is a doctor named Sergio Arias and another doctor named Rosa. They study the disease and they have all the tests to diagnose it and to treat the patients. And also we discovered over there they had the treatment. And you don't know how blessed we were that we had it in Venezuela, because there's like 5 countries in the world only that has it. And it costs like $600 one doses of this treatment in United States, and you need 4 doses to aliviar un ataque. I don't know how to say it in English.
Alleviate an attack.
Alleviate the attack.
Yeah.
Because porphyria, it's a rare disease that affects your nervous system. And it consists of having attacks, like constant attacks. And in one attack, you can have a lot of abdominal pain. It resembles us giving birth, the pain.
The pain of giving birth.
Yeah.
So you had that every once and again?
No, every day I had that for 2 months. So yeah, if you are in an attack, in a porphyria attack, you have all this pain, all this leg pain, back pain, also vomiting, hallucinations. I had 2 hallucinations in this process. Convulsions. No, it doesn't. It has another word.
Where your body's contracting and that kind of thing?
Yeah. How did it call it?
I would say convulsions. It's for example, when people dive underwater and then they need to breathe and they start having like these bodily contractions because... Exactly. So yeah, convulsions, and also the most important thing in this attack is the urine, red urine. So yeah, I was having all of these symptoms and nobody knew about it because it's a rare disease. But now I know all of these symptoms. It's because I had porphyria, and yeah, I was diagnosed with acute intermittent porphyria. I was still in wheelchair. And I had to do a lot of physiotherapy. I swam a lot with my physiotherapy to recover. And it took me like more than 1 year to get back on walking, but with a help of somebody else, or with the andadera is in Spanish. I don't know. Yeah, like this thing that grandmas use in order to move forward. Basically,
that one. Like I love that because it was easy to walk with. Yeah, I needed that.
Do you still have one at home to like, as like, maybe spray painted gold or something as like a, as like a remembrance of, the past?
That is a great idea. I have a lot of things, medical things in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have it all.
Well, so let me recap what happened. So basically overnight, over the course of a few days, you got hospitalized. Nobody knew what was happening. You started to be paralyzed.
First with the symptoms, abdominal pain, leg pain, the red urine, but nobody knew about it.
So that's, I'm assuming that is one of the worst things because you don't know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So then if somebody says, it might be a mental condition, you also like start to question yourself, right? So you lay there, you don't understand what's going on. Nobody can tell you. People only have the assumption that it might be you. Then you question yourself and like, okay, what is wrong with me? Sit there, cannot move, have not any way of like,
you know what? I'm going to stop you right there. Like, I wasn't thinking like that. Like you're telling me. My mom was thinking like that. Because as I was telling you, like, I thought this was going to go in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Of course, I was suffering a lot with the pain I had,
Mm.
but I wasn't thinking about, oh my God, why the doctors don't know. No, my mom was thinking like
Wow.
that. Like, I don't understand what is happening. Why are you telling me my daughter is crazy? Like, you're not seeing her suffering every day. I started to think like that when I get back to home.
Mm.
And the first time my physiotherapist stand me up, the first time, I was like, if he left me, I was going to fall in the floor.
Wow.
Absolutely, like melted, you know? And that day I started to understand that this wasn't like a 2-week disease. This was going to take hours to recover. And from that day, I started to set goals and to think about what's going on and to think about how I'm going to recover.
And that is so, first of all, holy shit. Holy shit. That is like, what a life-changing event going through this mentally. First of all, like the first thing that I noticed about you is your incredible positivity, which really attracted me to this whole conversation, because so first of all, you said, okay, it's gonna pass. Just like, first of all, this absolute like belief in, things are gonna go well.
Exactly.
Which I think, but yeah, I mean,
I was dying. Literally, I was dying.
But I mean, honestly, I think having that mindset is far superior than just, thinking the other way around. Then obviously things change, and you had to start thinking differently.
Yeah.
But then you were still like, okay, this is something that happens to me. Now what's the next best step I can take? And you did that by setting yourself a goal, right?
Exactly.
So you're like absolutely paralyzed. People have to, it took a year for you to recover, to be able to walk again.
More than 1 year.
More than 1 year, maybe like 2 years to get into more.
I went to back to university the second year, and still I was walking like a duck because I didn't have like a strength in my feet or in my legs. So you can notice that I had something, that I had something rare. Like, why is she walking like that? So I don't say I got fully recovered 2 years after my paralysis. I could say 3 years. You couldn't notice that I had a paralysis.
That is so insane. What a super long recovery. So at one point, because you set yourself a goal to be a fitness instructor, right?
Yeah, a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
That was one of them.
Okay, when did you start setting that goal for yourself?
Okay, so in this process, in this recovery process, I was thinking a lot in my gym and in what, like, I watch a lot of videos of me doing fit combat and step. I love step. Do you know what is a step?
Where you're on the stepper and you go up and down and up and down.
Yeah,
up and down?
It's like choreography in a step. I love choreography, so you can tell. So yeah, I love that, and I love also fit combat. And I was watching all of my videos because I create a lot of videos back then also, and I was so motivated by that I needed to get back on track with that. You know, I needed to try again to do step, and it's a difficult sport. You can say sport. Super difficult with your feet and with your coordination. Is super hard. But I wanted to do it again, like it was so fun for me and I loved it so much. And I was like, okay, I need to get back on the step. That's for sure. And the other one was to be an fit combat instructor that we talk about it. It's like martial arts with choreography. And I love that also. So I set my goal because I was friends with all the trainers, and I was like, I want to be like them. Like, I want to direct a class, have fun. And yeah, those are my main goals, and to get back my life, to be the Katrina that was in 2012, but better, like a better version. And that was my vision.
That takes so much willpower. That takes so much strength. Like, your journey is insane. It's just insane. So I seeing what you went through, where you are right now and seeing like the mentality you apply to that, that is something that highly intrigues me. So what would you say? Because there's people, they get a diagnosis and they have like something that's going on, and then they have to overcome it, but some just like fall victim to this victim mentality, and then they never get their life back together again, right? Because they don't have hope. So for me, it's always interesting, how is a mindset from one person different to the other, and how does that affect the outcome of your general life, right? So how would you describe your mindset during all of this? And did you learn something from that experience that changed you moving forward with your life, something that gave you strength and power?
Yeah, of course. I think I don't know how to say it in English. I think I love life more.
Big appreciation.
Exactly. Big appreciation for life. And I know it's difficult, like it was difficult, but, and I am not going to tell you, hey, I didn't cry, I didn't have bad days. No, of course I had a lot of bad days. Of course I cried a lot. One day I say something horrible to the poor nurse that I love until this day. I talk to her every day, but it's like that. Like, you have bad moments, but you have to, like, you can fall, but you have to get back on track. And you need those days to grow, you know. I needed those days to cry, to feel what was happening. But the next day I'm standing up, you know. The next day I'm gonna try harder, and I'm gonna have another bad day, but it doesn't matter. You have to try and grow more, you know.
I think that's the perfect word. So what you have is a growth mindset. So there's people with fixed mindsets. They think that they only can operate within their own abilities, and there's a limit, and over that they can't grow. And then there's a growth mindset where you're like, okay, this is my limit now, but I can overcome it with enough work, passion, and, you know, putting my energy into this. And then you also mentioned something that's incredibly important, in my opinion, which is stress and struggle and obstacles you have to overcome.
Of course, and you're gonna have it all your life. Not only having a paralysis or having a rare disease, you're gonna have it in your life for everything.
Yeah.
But you can't be stuck with one thing and don't try again, you know? And that was my mentality, and also the attitude. You have to have the attitude to achieve your goals. And that is what one day my favorite physiotherapist told me, like, hey, the first time I saw you, I wasn't going to work with you because I didn't have time at the moment. But when I saw you, that you couldn't move, and you were telling me that you wanted to get better, that you want to recover yourself, I couldn't leave you and not seeing you walking again. And he saw me walking again.
Girl, that is impressive. That is impressive. So
yeah.
if you could share like one piece of advice with somebody that's going through a similar situation right now, what would be the thing that you would tell them?
Yeah. So I always tell my Porphyria friends, because I have created a big community of Porphyria patients. Like, I have a lot of friends, and they every time ask me like how I did it, like if they're gonna be like me, fully recover. And I always tell them, yes, you're gonna recover, you're gonna fully recover, but you have to work hard. Like, you have to try every day. And if you don't have a physiotherapist, you can look up on YouTube videos of physiotherapy. I always, in my house, if I was not doing physiotherapy, I was doing something manually with my hands, or every time working. So yeah, I always tell my people to work hard, to be patient. That is like one of the most important things, patient.
You can ignore me for now. Actually, it's your message. It's right there for you guys.
To be patient and to be consistent with your exercises and with whatever you're doing.
Awesome.
Patience is key, and the attitude. Yeah.
I love this. I love this. It's wow. It's everything that I admire in people. It's all these things that I've also uncovered for myself, and you just like have this ingrained in yourself through this experience, right? So a positive outlook on life, setting goals for yourself,
Yeah.
never giving up, being acceptant of like the negative emotions because of course they're gonna
Of course.
come. Being also okay with. So okay, now there's a question for you. How do you deal with stress from now on? How do you view stress or obstacles from now on?
Yeah.
Something happens in your life, and maybe before you would have reacted in a way where I'm not sure if you would have because you're a very positive person, but some would say, oh no, why is this happening?
Yeah, of
Now,
course. No, I have a
how?
lot of stress, for example, with my work, of course. But in general, my sister always says, like, I don't know why you don't stress. Like, I am stressed and I am seeing you, watching you, and you're like positive. Why? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's a mindset, like, to see things in a positive way. But yeah, that's me. Like, of course, I get stressed in work, but I think that everything has a solution,
Hmm.
and I don't get stuck with things.
The growth mindset again. Yeah. No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. This is something that I've also adapted for myself, which is like something happens, something comes up, and I'm now at the point like I've been through like everybody has through their own like difficult situations, but you can either choose to be sad about it or adapt a new mindset. So every time when something comes to me that is stressful, I'm just like, okay, there's just one more thing to overcome. And now, what's the best next step that I can take
Exactly.
towards
And you
taking
can be sad about it, but it doesn't mean like you have to be stuck being sad about
Yeah.
it, like
Yeah.
you have to do something to not
Yeah.
be sad,
Yeah. It's your life. It's your
Like,
life. You only have two choices: either make it or
yeah,
not make it. So why not focus on the good things, on the positive things, on all the things you can control, on like small progresses, small wins. People have this big idea of, oh, I want to get there. And
yeah,
when I accomplish this one big thing, my life is going to be great. But it's all the small wins, and you are a great example for that. Like all the small, tiny steps. Being able to move your fingers, your feet, whatever it is, step by step, every day, getting a little closer to the thing that you actually want to achieve, and keeping like being kind to yourself in the sense that nobody sees these small wins. For everybody else, it's just like, okay, like they only see a big jump. But
yeah,
every day, every person that wakes up every day has a decision to make. And that decision is it
exactly.
towards growth? Is it towards the life that you want to live? Or have you just accepted the fact that you are in a position that you cannot get out of? And yeah, so I do think this is one of the most important things to learn about life,
For
that
sure.
there's always going to be stress coming, there's always going to be obstacles, but if you take two people, let's say both have the same diagnosis, let's say your diagnosis, they're both paralyzed, and one has just this outlook of, okay, there's just nothing I can do about this, this is my life from now on, and the other one says, okay, fuck that shit, I'm going to fight as much as I can because I don't have any other
Yeah, and
choice.
turn it into something positive, because I understand that not every disease is the same. Like, I understand my paralysis. I recovered, totally recovered, but I know some people that doesn't have porphyria and not another type of disease, and they get paralyzed or an accident, a car accident.
Sure.
Of course, difficult to recover. Like, sometimes you don't recover, your body doesn't like can recover. But the thing is to have a positive mind. Like, what are you going to do now? Like, are you going to stay like that and be sad? Or are you going to do something positive in your life? Like, I don't know, to share your experience with everybody and to grow from that, and that's what I'm doing. Like, sharing my experience, telling my story, for people to relate, to relate with me, people who suffer from, I don't know, it could be also a divorce, it could be also like that. People who is sad because of a divorce, it inspires people, and that's what I'm doing, sharing my story, sharing information about this disease, because it's super rare and you don't know how much the quantity of people that has porphyria and they don't know about it, So
thank you for that.
yeah.
Thank you for being a voice. Thank you for sharing your standpoint, which is very unique. And I would also say many more people have their unique standpoints. And if you're afraid to share your story, don't be, because everybody lives a very unique life. So yeah, if you can help even just one person,
Exactly.
telling them what you've went through, and then that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, that's beautiful. And as you said before, even if you don't recover from like an accident or something, look at Stephen Hawking. He couldn't move at the end at all, but
Exactly.
he's one of the smartest brains of our
And he
lifetime.
did something positive in his life. Like, everybody knows about it, and it's so inspiring.
Talking about inspiring, you definitely are. So I encourage you guys,
Thank you.
check out her story. You know, plug yourself. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I almost share everything on my personal channel. It's Katri Parra, and you can find me on TikTok and Instagram like that. But I also have another page named Somos Porphyria. We are Porphyria in Spanish. And yeah, I am kind of sharing information over there, more like not kind of like fun like I do, like I share my experience in a funny way, but more important information in that channel. And I also have another channel in my own Instagram. You could create some channels, and I create one, Todo sobre Porphyria, everything about Porphyria, and I share everything over there. Everything, messages, positive messages about people writing me, because I constantly received a lot of messages. And what I do to, for example, nutrition in Porphyria, what do I eat, what do I do when I have an attack, something like that. So yeah, I'm constantly sharing tips, sharing key information. Yeah, cool.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being there for the community that suffers from this, for sharing your experience. It's been a really, really great talk.
I wish I could do more, to be honest.
Well, you already do more. By the way, you guys, if you check out her profile, you're in for a treat. She is an incredible content creator. It's mind-blowing how much you do, actually, to me. Right? The same thing.
I am intense. I am intense.
It's wow. Like, we gotta have a completely different discussion about that. How you manage to put that much out. It's inspiring.
Yeah,
Another inspiring thing about you. So yeah, maybe see you on another pod regarding that, how to do content creation, you know,
social media.
social media, big thing.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And,
thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
It's been amazing. Thank you.